HBCU pride. I believe in HBCU culture and I believe in HBCU sports. This is what our show is about. HBCU pride with Tim McCain and Derek Hall. Hello, everyone. You listen to another episode of Bleav in HBCUs with Tim McCain and Derek Hall.
What's going on?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. How you doing, Coach Wiggins?
I'm doing good. I'm trying to stay out of the way, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. How's life during the pandemic?
Well, it's different. We just going through the motions right now. Matter of fact, they'll probably start practicing next week for, they got that thing going on now. We play in the spring and we're going to practice we have our spring practice,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So what do you think of the vaccines? Do you feel like it's too soon to take it, wouldn't you say?
Say it again, I'm sorry.
You think it will be too soon to take the vaccines?
I don't know. I get the depends on, you gonna take it or not. A lot of people say they ain't gonna take it, so I don't know how that is.
Right.
I'm trying to decide now how I feel about it.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm not gonna probably take it until like the next 2 years if I take it.
I mean, but I think you gotta treat the vaccine almost like the flu, in the sense of this,
Right.
Like a lot of people don't get flu shots,
Right.
and they don't get the flu, so it's definitely gonna be carried as like it's a flu shot type. Like you either get it, you get sick, then you gotta get the vaccine, or you don't get sick. So I think that's how people gotta take it.
I talked to a couple of people who had the virus, man. They say it's very similar to the flu. So I never had a flu shot. Never had it. I never had a flu, like you just said. So, like I said, like Doug said, it all depends on probably if we get sick or not. We take the vaccine or not.
Gotcha. So, hey, Coach, I want to congratulate you on your 2019 season. I think I read a report that said that you had 3 CIAA first team members on your defense, and then you had 2 rookie CIAA on the rookie team. So I want to congratulate you on that, Coach.
Well, I appreciate that, man. Matter of fact, I think we have I have about 5 guys who's on the radar NFL. We got 2 safeties, 2 defensive ends, and a linebacker who going to hunt a guy who was player of the year 2 years ago. He got hurt last year, but he's back now for his senior.
But that's amazing to have a couple guys getting looked at in the NFL, because you don't really see that as much on a Division II level at a small CIAA school. So that's definitely big. So I want to ask, what kind of defense do you run? Is it a 4-3 base, 3-4 base, or you want a multiple defense? And
we multiple, man. We my base is a 4-2-5, but we run a lot of defense around that. We'll run our front, which is three man down, called 3-3 stack, and also to run their old bear front that Brother Ryan did with the Eagles a long time ago. And it all depends on who you're playing, because a lot of guys do different things to you. We try to attack what they're doing, and sometimes we go into the game saying they got to stop us. We ain't got to stop them. They got to stop us. All things playing.
Most definitely, I think, running a 4-2-5, you like speed on your defense. So, So, there's a lot of speed with those, that linebacker / safety, which is always the rover. And, he kind of can pass the play at multiple positions.
Right. Right, and he got to be able to cover and be hard just to run. You know, he
Right.
got one of the better players on the field.
So during this pandemic, what did you tell your players to keep in shape? Because mostly during this pandemic, it's really been about self-motivation throughout these last 3 months. Were you in contact with your players, and what workouts did you give them to do during this pandemic?
Well, our players on campus. Our players on campus. They have an online class.
Mm-hmm.
And we talk our players stay off campus. You know, I have to be honest with you. I'd probably say about 75% of our players stay off campus. They choose to do so. And you know, you can tell when you've got a mature team. Our guys go out to the nearest middle school. They work out together, man. They do 7-on-7. You know, and that's a sign of a good, mature, experienced team. You know, we have that. We got a lot of guys that play a lot of football, even though they're young, man. They're young. We got a lot of sophomores and juniors, but they play a lot of football because a lot of them got started on their first year. And so we got a lot of strength in the team, but we're young. So
Yeah. Yeah, that is key.
Man, just guarantee, but it didn't happen.
Yeah, that is key to have with all football teams during the 2020 year, this pandemic. You got to have your team has to be able to bond without the coach. Like, you got to be able to bond. You got to be able to feel this person without the coach. And, and experience matters. Like, if you got a team that played together at least 2 or 3 years, you ain't got to run no plays. It's just brushing you, getting the rust off that you go out there every day to really get your work in without nobody watching. That's what builds championships when you work when nobody's watching. Anybody can work out with people watching. When nobody's watching, that's how you build a championship team. That's how you build a championship player.
Exactly right. You're exactly right, man. Also, I always judge the guy's character the same way. If anybody can be good around the coach, but it depends on how you act when you're not around the coach. I try to recruit guys with good character. I think we changed the whole complex of the class show. We brought a lot of guys in that we can trust. We didn't have to watch them every minute. So that makes a difference, man. As you just said that you go out there and work out on your own, and that's how you get good, because you can't play your best with a 2-hour practice.
Right.
You gotta have more. So the guys that put that extra time in are the ones who succeed the most.
So Coach Wiggins, who are some of the great chess matches that you had to go up against? Like, you're a defensive coordinator, so who are some of the great offensive coordinator minds that you had to go against during your tenure at Shaw or at HBCUs in general?
Well, I ran against Morgan at Virginia State. He was good offensive coordinator, ADI, but he knew the game real well. I ran against the offensive coordinator at Campbell, who's I can't remember his name, but he did a good job. But sometimes that what you do is overrated, man. You gotta have the horses to go with you.
Right.
The scheme is overrated a lot of times because you ain't got the Jim and the Joes and everything else. You don't run, if you don't have the players, it ain't gonna matter. So I put all the credit to the players when I part of my defense. I don't take pride in what I do and what I'm doing against the OC. I take pride in what they're doing. They're the ones playing the game on the field.
So who are some of the most coachable players So you've been coaching since how long you been coaching, Coach Wiggins?
Where, in college?
Yes,
About 31 years.
31 years. So if you could list 5 players, who are some of the most coachable top 5 players that you've ever coached?
Back in the day at Livingstone, I coached a guy who was All-American, then got named Dunlap. He played corner and free safety. He made all conference 4 years straight. I coached a guy named Joe Mims, who his brother played with Dallas Cowboys back in the offensive tackle. Can't recall his name. But he also was a corner, and he was real coachable, man. Them two guys that was real important to our defense back in the time when Livingstone won the championship. You know, it's those two guys was real coachable. They did everything I should do to put in extra work after practice. So you had no problem with them. Then I went to Central, and I coached Lawrence Tiller's son, Lawrence Tiller Jr. He was he was the kind of player that his dad was, but he had the same size as her, but he didn't have the intensity. But he was smart. He was real smart. And since I've been here at Shaw, I coached a guy named Devin Hunt, who's here now. He's a guy that he made player of the year twice, all conference 3 times. He's All-American. He's one of the guys that's on the radar for the NFL. Wow. I got a free safety right now who's he's all conference. He's one of the guys on the radar. A guy named Kevin Sherman. So all of them guys started as a freshman.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Coach, I want to take it back for a second. At what age did you fall in love with coaching, or when did you know you was going to be a coach? At what age?
Hey man, probably about when I was about 25. I came about real strange. I had just left the Cleveland Brown camp, and I still loved the game. So I was forced out because of an injury. And I still love the game. So I think I told Tim last talk to him, I couldn't go to a game at that time. I couldn't be around football because I still love the game. But I went. I think I was riding from work one day, and I worked at a middle school, and I just stopped, just watch practice. And I got out of the car, and I think Coach asked me, we talked, and he asked me would I help him out. I said I about it, And I wound up doing that. Then I went to the high school, and then went to the. Then I went to high school about 3 years, and I went to Livingstone College. So I started at the bottom, went my way up, but I never knew I'd be a coach. I always thought I'd be a player. You know what I mean? So,
right.
Yeah. So, but it happens, man. I think it was the Lord who did that because, I still love what I'm doing now. I got kids, so when I stop loving kids, I'm gonna quit.
I got you. So, Coach, growing up, I know you fell in love with the game at 9 years old, but who are some of the key sports figures that you grew up watching as a kid that inspired you to play the game? Did you have any of those people you looked at and say, I want to be like him on the field?
Yeah. I grew up watching Jack Tatum, play the Raiders. I grew up with a guy who played with the Packers a long time ago, a guy named Herb Alley. He played corner. I sort of tried my guy to Jack Tatum and him. I tried to play physical when I was playing, just like those guys did. But it's funny, man, you say that because I was talking to a guy today that was discussing about one of the best running backs I ever seen play football for. He just passed away. He said, man, he was awesome, man. He was one of the best players I ever seen play, and that's the truth. That's very hard to say what the backs we got now, but he was way ahead of his time.
Yeah.
He was way ahead of his time, man. So I think in between him and Barry Sanders, those guys were probably the best running backs I ever seen play.
Gotcha. So Jack Tatum. Go ahead, Derek.
Go ahead, Tim. Go ahead.
So Jack Tatum. So I got two statements to say about him. A statement, then a question. Jack Tatum should definitely be in the Hall of Fame, no doubt. I feel like they ripped him because he was too aggressive and he went after. But he was a killer on the field. That's one. And two, do you feel like a player like a Jack Tatum could play in today's college football, potentially NFL?
They play in college football, they're gonna throw him out.
Yeah, no, I don't think he played pro. I don't think he played pro because he was. You gotta understand that he changed the passing game in the NFL. He changed it to the point where you couldn't bump a receiver until after 5 yards because he hurt a lot of guys that there was running across the field undefensively. He knocked him out. Like he paralyzed Berman.
Yeah, he did.
He controlled Lynn Swan with the Steelers. He made all those guys afraid to go across the. So he couldn't play today, man, because they wouldn't let him do it. Because he played on intimidation, and you can't do it today.
Yes, sir. Agreed.
Everything is melt down right now. Letting guys catch the ball and stuff like that. So, answer the question, so he play today? No, he couldn't do it.
But I think he could. I think he could play today. You just got to think about the eras, right? In that era of football, there wasn't like so much money involved in that. Like, I think this era, he would have to think about my money or this hit. And a couple of times I feel like he probably would hit him, but I think about he would preserve that paper because nowadays athletes think about that paper more than anything. True. Especially on a pro level. On a pro level, you think about money more than anything. On college, I think in college, me being a college athlete for a couple of years, college is more about the love of the game, the you can come out the field, you see the girls, you see people cheering your name, you ain't got no bills, no travel really, you eating good at some of these universities. But in college, in pro, it's like, I need my money, I got bills, I got families now. Like, I think that's the difference between that.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's been tough on him, man. He like I said, he played hard, man, and his game was based on intimidation, he would play, but he wouldn't last long. He was.
No, he would.
He probably wouldn't last long.
He probably had more fines than anything else. He had more fines.
He'd probably be like Ndamukong Suh.
Right.
But Suh had a couple fines early, but I think Suh good now. He still playing hard. He still playing to the whistle. Yeah. But he just think about that paper. Like, my money on the line. I can't really hit you like I want to. Yeah. That's a fact.
Yeah, but it's kind of tough, man. It's kind of tough to say. But as far as athletically, as far as player, he could have played, but the way he played, it'd have been tough. I think running a lot with another guy like that, he played real physical and played far taking, intimidating way. And the game changed, man. Back then, they had big receivers. Had them guys, big receivers, man. That's why I had them big DBs. Back when I played, Mel Blunt and all them guys played, everybody was big, man. Guys 6'4" and stuff. So the teams try to neutralize that by getting small receivers with speed. And then they start getting small DBs. So it goes and comes. Now they got small receivers a lot now. So they got a lot of small DBs. But the game changes all the time.
It does. So, hey, Coach Wiggins. So you played cornerback at Elizabeth City State, correct?
Corner and free safety, yeah.
Corner and free safety. So if you could build your perfect cornerback free safety, what kind of talents, attributes would you want your cornerback, prototypical cornerback for Shaw University? What kind of cornerback would you like?
I want him taller than 6 feet. I want him to be, and I found out guys are tall and rangy. Great guys. Them kind of guys worthy of death, man. Guys, and tall wire guy, you have good speed. I always realize that a guy, what they're gonna crazy for saying this, but a guy got skinny ankles can run. A guy got thick ankles can't run. You try to find a guy got a weird wiring, man, tall, about 6 feet, 6'2", something like that, who has confidence because you're gonna get beat and you just gotta let it go. And that's kind of guy even when it turns to the alley fighter. Guy who ain't gonna quit on you.
Right. That is like, you want your corner to be like 6 feet where you can leave him on an island, you can change up the zones, you gotta be able to flip them hips too as well though. So that's the key.
Right. Exactly right. So but guys, it's I've seen guys who shorter guys than that, but they're real good athletes. They can ride at the gym. They play with heart. They're hard for bigger than anybody on the field. Because they got that Napoleon syndrome. I'm a young short, so I can prove. A lot of guys do that. I have one now. He's about 5'9", but he's one of them kind of guys. He play with chip on his shoulder. He think he got something come to prove that he's short. So, but a lot of times he run into guys that he can't run about. Mother Nature will allow him to do it. Guy 6'4", he's 5'9". That's a hard task.
Yeah,
it's a hard task.
It could be a problem 5'9", 6'4". Just at that point, I believe it's about heart too as well. Like, he can be 5'9", got the biggest heart, can stop that 6'4" receiver.
Yeah, he had to be. You gotta play with confidence, man. You gotta just have the idea that you ain't catching the ball on it.
Yeah.
Those guys come around once every blue moon. Kind of guys. Because first of all, when guys, it's natural when a 5'9" corner comes in a guy who's 6'4", first thing when he see him, he gonna be intimidated a little bit. So, but you sometimes run around a guy who's 5'9" and you tell a guy 6'4", bring it on. It happens.
Yeah.
I got you. So, Coach, are there when you're talking with your defense, do you how much studying goes into their opponents, and also do you actually have them study other great athletes as well? Like, let's say a cornerback, you have them study a Deion Sanders, or a linebacker, you have them study a Ray Lewis.
No, I don't gotta do that. I mean, I don't tell them, they do it on their own. because you gotta be the kind of player that you gonna be. You can't try to be like Ray Lewis because you're not Ray Lewis. You gotta try to be like Devin Hunt because you are Devin Hunt, and you gotta have your own name. But I always try to tell the guys that watching film is very important. You gotta watch film. You gotta watch your opponent. You gotta try and find some kind of weak point that they have in their game. Everybody got tendencies. Everybody got a weak point. So you gotta try to discover that, and you attack it when the game starts. Look at formation on the offense, because like I said, everybody got tendencies. The offensive coordinator, he has a tendency when you get in a certain form and on a certain down and distance, you'll run back, you run the same plays. So it's going to happen. You just got to find it on the film. When you see it on the field, you communicate with one another, tell them what's coming, and that's how you go. Sometimes you can be right, sometimes you can be wrong, but you got to make sure you call defense that to cover whatever they do. That's why a lot of times you can't, if you have so corners, you can't do a whole lot of man-to-man. You got to play a lot of zone. And that sort of handcuff you a little bit, what you want to call. But, it's important, man. It's very important, man. It's very important. Just seeing where they're going, what they're doing in certain situations. And then that's how you call your game. That's how I game plan. I game plan with offensive coordinator for Tennessee. And sometimes I be right, I look good doing it. Sometimes, they call something else on me. And now I say, oh, okay.
Right. You talked about watching film. But I noticed, I dealt with a couple high school players. Sometimes high school players transitioning to college don't know how to watch film and what to look for. At Shaw, are you teaching them the proper way to watch film and what to look for when it's time to break down the next team?
Yeah. Matter of fact, I didn't have any today where there two guys in the day. One of the free safety. We watched the film. We watched him every other day together because he's my guy on the field. I make all my pass checks. He gotta know what I want in situations. A lot of times you can't get the play in or whatever the case may be. So he gotta know what I want. So we going to a game that he know all the formations, what comes to call, in the down distance. So he knows that going in the game, the linebacker, he knows what I want up front. If I get stuck and I can't get a call in, he calls it. And we live with it. So as long as the guys are on the same page, because if he call a wrong call, everybody doing the right things, then everybody, so it's like you gotta look at it. If everybody's wrong, then we all right.
Right.
So as long as we do the same thing, doing the same thing before we do play, I'm fine with it. When you get one guy who ain't doing what he's supposed to do on that certain play, then that's when I have a problem with it. But I don't like long coverage. I don't like long defense. So.
Wow. Okay. So, Coach, how do you handle like when you're in the game and the ref just makes a blatant bad call? How do you handle the refs in college football? How do you handle them, especially when they make bad calls?
I got a thing I always do, man. I always tell the ref before the game starts. I point to the head coach. I said, look here, we get in your way, run over the head coach, run over. Don't ain't worry about it. Knock him down. So I try to get into that, help mind a little bit of the human stuff. So they make a bad call. Now I get into that, into their ear. Just I laugh it off. But you go out, you go out, a lot of times, you go out there with a bad attitude with the rest of the gym, you will have a long day. They'll call on you just for because you a bad guy.
Right.
So I always try to get to their head, man. Play on both sides of the ball. I've been on both sides. Going to the game, the ref knows who supposed to win. So they usually get the most of the calls.
Right.
So like I said, I've been on both sides, man. I've been into a game where we had the best record with everybody, and we did something, and we got the call. You know? And I've been to a game where we played and we were supposed to win, and the other team get the calls. You know, you go off, man, but you don't do no good. You know, they already a lot of times they know to make their job easier. They'll go with the team who's supposed to win. That's why it's very hard to win on those. You gotta just go in there and just beat the team on the road. Because the game is close, you stand a chance of not winning the game. So you go into another team's home field, you gotta beat them. You gotta beat them because it's human. It's natural that everybody's going to win.
Right.
Everybody calls me upset. Everybody in the whole stadium will win. It's going to the person for the win. And why they call me upset.
So you've been coaching for 30 plus years. Have any of those been a head coach position? Have you ever been a head coach, or do you aspire to be a head coach?
Well, you know, I'd rather just do what I did. I was being a better coordinator a lot of the years, most of the years, and I'd rather do that than put up the headache of being a head coach. Because I know how I am as a person, and I see what head coaches go through. I probably fired a lot of it, man, because of what I say. You know, because you know, a lot of times the head coach don't get respect they're supposed to get, man.
Right.
And people, you know, I see how the head coach I've been around, coming blunt, you know, over at Winston State, when he went to South Bill, and he'll be a very good head coach. You know, I've been good head coaches, and I see how they go through, man, and you know, I probably could do it, but you know, I don't know that. I don't. Cause I'm hands on. You know.
Yeah.
It'd be hard for me to be a head coach because I can't coach no more. I got to oversee everything. So I'm hands on.
Yeah, I asked that question because the climate is today, like a lot of black coaches that's qualified for the position don't really get the position. You know, like yourself, you enjoy being a coordinator, but some of us, I feel like, is stuck at that position, like with years of experience and not given the opportunity to be a head coach. What are your thoughts of young black coaches not given the opportunity of being head coaches?
Well, now, you know, young guys, their opportunities are way better than our opportunities. When I was coming, you know, they guys are starting young now, and you know, and I hate to say guys are young guys are weeding the old guys out because everybody trying to go young. But you know, like I remember Deanna said something recently that you were coached by a guy and you 3 years old or above, and you were coached by a dog. A dog coaches when you coming up. The game hasn't changed. Coaches have changed.
Wow.
Because now, you know, you can't be hard on the kid no more. Guy was hard on me, and I'm fine with it. And I was on kids when I first started coaching. I think kids started changing in '99. I think 1999 when they started bringing video games out. Kids started getting a little soft. I started, and my eyes, and so the game hasn't changed, man. The coaches have changed, so they got doing more talking and you know. I know. I didn't play that. I played. I was brought up hard, and I played. So, but the way I coach now, I coach my guys the way I was brought up. And they know I am. I coach them hard, and if you don't like it, then you're going. You're going defense. You're going to coach hard. It was my defense anyway.
Yeah, I'd rather, I'd rather be coached hard,
Right.
just because, when you coach hard, you can understand the coach's thinking. Like in high school, one of my coaches was just on me all day. And
Right.
what stuck with me, he said, "Yo, when I'm yelling at you or on you, it's a good thing. It's when I stop talking to you is when you should be worried about it."
There you go. Yeah, you were coached by a dog. You were coached by a dog too.
Coach King. I still talk to Coach King to this day. I always do wellness checks. How he doing? How his family doing? So.
Yeah, you were coached by a dog, man. Boy. Them guys back then when I was playing, them guys was vicious, man. You're right about that, man. Once you stop talking to a kid and start trying to coach them up and then like that, then that means you decide to go elsewhere, go find somebody else. Cause like I tell you, I gotta tell you the same thing over and over again, and you still don't do it, then my time is ran out. I gotta find somebody to get there for a game, and I can't spend all the time on you. So. When I stop calling your name, or stop fussing at you, then I'm done.
Right.
Did y'all talk about Deion Sanders yet?
No. We ain't talking about the perfect time.
Man,
Talk about prime time Deion Sanders.
Talk about prime time.
What do you think? I want to call Deion Sanders a pioneer, but.
Right.
Tyrone Wheatley's a football player too. He's coach at Morgan State.
Right.
He's just not the bigger name.
Right.
That he can get. Primetime is the bigger name. But what they're doing down in Jackson, University, Jackson State University, it's major. I think just because of those kids in Mississippi. So those kids that's going to Ole Miss and Mississippi State. They're going to be split. They're going to Jackson State because it's something to Deion going in your living room and finessing your mom and you and coming to Jackson State. He can really put that gift of gab on you to get you to come to that university.
What do you think?
Right, man. I was saying the other day. Me and head coach talking. I am saying it's hard. Turn down Deion, he come to my house. Matter of fact, he had come past my house. And I'm going to Jackson State.
Yeah.
Depending on DB. Because you a DB, you going to one of the best DBs that will play the game. Matter of fact, we were talking today, we said we need to call them and get a game with this. I said, this game Jackson State? Yeah, this game Jackson State. Just play them. And so we looking into that thing, man. Well, we let them play them. I like them right now anyway. And that's so because it'd be good for your program.
Yeah, definitely. It gives me that feeling of an old school, we had this conversation a while ago. And I was telling him, it gives me the feeling of back in the day where HBCU football can sell out arenas just because the culture that we presented, like a HB, like a Grambling and Jackson. I believe a Grambling and Jackson State next year can probably sell out the Superdome if we promote it right, if they're promoted right, and you know, and this is the time to do it. The black coaches now, like, yo, you put that in front of people, you put some TV cameras on there, it's going to be a show. Like, and Deion's there, Grambling is his name itself. Deion and Jack State is a name that's going to attract multiple people. Like, I'm already, like, being part of my fraternity, you know, Make South Out Fraternity Incorporated, with the two HBCUs, I'm already planning to go to Jackson State just to see what they got going on down there. Like, I'm anxious.
Right. Like, if I had my own game, I'll go down there with you. I just want to be in the building because it's going to be electrifying. You know, he's gonna change it, and because of who he is. He probably bring in some more NFL guys, but that don't mean anything, you know, because the guy playing in the NFL don't mean he's gonna be a good coach.
True. Yeah, that was my question I was going to ask you. I mean, Deion Sanders is a great personality. He's a great Hall of Fame player, but he was an offensive coordinator at his son's school. Do you believe that could translate into a 4-year college? I mean, because, you know, he's got shows, he's got, you know, he's personality, he's got businesses. Like, how do you think Deion Sanders will do as a head coach?
You know, he'll be a good head coach. It all depends on who you hire. You know, that's like they said, they call a guy playing in the NFL don't mean he's gonna be a good coach. You know, it's I see some guys who have played football their whole life who's good coach. You know, so it doesn't matter how you say the game and how you relate to the kids. You know, you can't. You know, a lot of times guys in the NFL have a chip on their shoulder. And I think it's been since sliced bread because they play the NFL. Everybody's supposed to bow down to them. You know, you can't go with that attitude. The kid want to be coached. You hear what you did. You know, you don't want to hear what you did in the NFL. They ain't in him being a good college football player. So he want to be coached, and they try to go with attitude and try to teach guys to coach you in the NFL, and try to coach the guy up that way without having any substance behind it. It ain't gonna work. I always try to make sure guys that Michael James, I don't get out coached. He ain't gonna out coach me, so that ain't gonna let it happen. I don't care you play NFL 25 years, you know, no matter to me. I think I know more about football than you do. It doesn't matter, you know, you have better opportunities. So, you know, it don't matter, man. It ain't gonna change the school around just like that. It's gonna take time for them to change the school around. You know, when a coaching staff get fired, the whole staff gets fired, and it ain't because the staff was bad, because they had bad players. So we go to a school and just get there, those same players are gonna be there. And you think you can go in and turn around just like that, it ain't gonna happen. So it'll take about 2 or 3 years for them to turn around.
Yeah, I say 2 years, you know, just to really get the players he want in the program.
Right.
You know, so
it ain't gonna happen overnight. It ain't gonna happen.
Yeah.
So,
we'll definitely see. But I like what you said there. It don't matter who's on the other side. No. You're gonna have to coach them. I respect that.
Yeah, you ain't coach me now. I ain't gonna let that happen. I got pride too. So,
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We'll see how it goes. I look forward to our season. We got a very good team. I'm looking forward to our season. For the playing in the spring. It got something going on with getting two schools, man. I don't know if you heard or not, but D2s can play this in the spring 5 games and don't count toward the eligibility. So the same team that you play the spring game with, whether seniors or what, they come back and play in the fall. So that's a biggie for Division II because you got on your team who's pro prospect. You got to give them opportunities to get by the NFL because in the springtime the comebacks are going on then. So guys in D2 and not gonna be seen. So they get a guy extra time to get the film and play this in the spring and then go to next year. They get the opportunity to be for. So that's a good thing that came out of it.
Yes, sir.
And always money. You ain't got to do like recruiting. I don't have to recruit like the same team coming back.
Gotcha.
So it'll save money recruiting.
Well, thank you very much, Coach Wiggins.
Thank you, Coach, for the show. I appreciate it.
I apologize for all my technical difficulties.
Hey, man, don't worry about that, man. That happens, man. The time right now it ain't normal, man, so anything goes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Everyone, you listen to Bleav in HBCUs.
Bleav.
With Tim McCain and Derek Hall. Y'all have a blessed one.
Bless.
Y'all be good, brother. Stay safe, man.
All right. Thank you again, Coach.
All right, now. Nice talking to you.